Hey, boys and girls, weather report, February 11th, 2022. I guess I'm 25,969 days old today.
I feel a great weight on my shoulders when you tell us that number.
Well, I'm trying for 26,000. Then I'm gonna, then I'm goal accomplished, and I've done it. 26,000.
Mission accomplished. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
You'll get your medal, and then you'll retire.
It'll be so fucking funny if something happens to me and I die on that day. That would just be that would be you guys would have to see the humor in that, right? I mean,
maybe a year or two down the line.
Oh yeah, too soon.
Too soon, and it hasn't even happened.
Yeah, I've been pushing for 26,000 ever since 25,000. So on my 25,000th, I was out in the woods looking for, running from bears. I was out in the middle of the North Woods. That was
well, if you're in the woods and you see a bear, you were doing the right thing.
Yeah. Well, I saw a bear track on top of my footprint, and that bear track was the size of my foot.
You knew he had your scent in his nostrils.
He was curious about me, so obviously he was stalking me.
Was it a black bear? Or?
Yeah, black bear.
It wasn't a grizzly, right? Yeah.
Black bears can get about 500 pounds. I've seen some awful big black bear. Yeah, and they can tear the shit out of you. And the ones that do that, the ones that follow your footprints, they're not aggressive, but they're hunting.
Right.
And those are the ones to worry about, because they'll go around in circles and they'll kind of test you, and they're not aggressive. And then there's the other kind of bear attack where they will rush you and lunge at you, and then they'll fall back and they'll lunge. And if you don't go away, they will attack you. So they're trying to tell you to move out of their territory. But if you find one that's, that appears unaggressive and he's just kind of curious, he's hunting you for food. And those are the ones you really want to fucking worry about.
Yeah. Yep.
Because they want a snack.
Yep.
They're up to something. And me and my brother spent an entire afternoon with about a 400-pound black bear who was obviously stalking us and hunting us. Everywhere we were, he was. We kept spotting him. And then we went and had lunch, and we looked down the road, and there he is, half a block away, just watching us, and it's like, yeah, I saw a couple of juicy, dumb-looking hunters in red suits. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Anyway, so LPP has a new friend. And the XO, apparently he's stopped in twice. I think LPP threw him out once because he won't shut his mouth, right?
Yeah.
But he is he's a curious devil.
Yeah. How old would you say he is? He would be late 20s, early 30s, probably, right?
Yeah,
I guess
mid 30s,
mid 30s.
Maybe lower. But
what makes a person that age?
Anyway, this is going to take
lunatic. Yeah,
this is going to take a minute or two, but this is one of the videos on his site, and it'll give you some idea. Now, he is a card-carrying mandatory reporter for the state of Arizona, and he apparently worked at a home that took care of children and old people, or he worked for some organization that was involved in social services for vulnerable adults and children, right? And he mentions that he did get fired. And
why does that sound scary to me.
I'm trying to wonder. I'm wondering why did he get fired? But anyway, we'll just play this, and you can get an idea what kind of character this is. Whoops, I gotta unmute my side.
Yep.
It is for real. Yes, you are in danger. Yes, the whole world is deceived, and it looks like it's an automated system that allows things to happen because people get really comfortable. You're ultra complacent. You celebrate the holidays. You can't wait to get off work early. That's what your life is about. Your life isn't about, oh, let me make sure people are protected. No, in fact, they don't have to conspire to do anything. They are an automated system designed to ignore reality to justify their lifestyle. This is the Great Deception. This was part 1. We will see part 2 soon. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, Danny.
Okay. This guy sounds insane.
Could you picture going up like out for a hike? You go up to the hill and there's this guy shouting into his camera. It's like, oh man.
Wait, is he a police? Okay, I'm seeing police.
Right,
Okay.
I'm sure he's about to get
a
ticket or something.
The funny part about this, okay, I've probably listened to this guy maybe 10 minutes, right? I probably listened to him for 5 minutes over at LilPP's twice, and then this. So total, and I've heard him say, people aren't looking at reality. The whole world is deceived, like many, many times in just that short amount of time that I've heard him
ironic.
say that. So yeah, I know. How ironic is that?
And every 5 minutes, Jackson Rowe asks him, "What shape is the Earth?"
Yeah.
Which implies that he's got some flat Earth in his background or whatever.
Yep.
Sure. And he keeps telling Jackson Rowe, "I told you the Earth doesn't have a shape."
Yeah.
What?
Yep. That was his answer.
It's a shapeless.
Okay, now I want to play this whole segment up to a certain point. And the key word is militia. So
Okay.
Oh boy. Okay.
So you want us to shut up until he starts talking about militia?
And then I'll make a couple phone calls. And then
This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. I need to speak to a detective. And eventually, but if I see these people out in public, I have to detain them, and I have to call the police. I have to.
No,
I have to.
you cannot.
But I have to.
If you detain somebody,
I will. I know.
you can get a
I'm
certificate.
willing for that to happen because
No,
it's
you
okay.
cannot.
Yes, because then the government's going to appoint me a lawyer.
No.
It'll blow up this case. It's going to show everybody that they're murdering people. It's
Daddykins.
It's okay. I'm going to do it.
No.
We have to. We're being killed.
Daddykins.
Well, that's here. So that's going to happen eventually.
But let me tell you, that is not something you need to do.
Well, if this case continues to get covered up, we have no choice.
Look, I'm not saying that
Adult
you need to
Protective
cover it up by
Services.
us.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying APS
You
did
cannot
already.
do a citizen's arrest.
I know, but APS already has covered it up and they actually
If there's
wrote
information,
about it.
Let him play.
there's
Yes, they
ways of gathering that
covered it up.
information.
They covered it
There's
up.
ways of gathering all of
I
this
know. That's what I'm saying.
You said
Right.
this is just the beginning.
Right. And again, the namers Linda Gilly and Kelly Janey are the
No,
two people promoting
I
this
read the
mass
information.
murder. Yeah.
We have information
Yeah.
on them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these people have to be stopped. And again, if there's a revolt, if there's like a militia group out there that has to come here and do something about it, that might be
That is
the only
not-
solution.
No, you cannot have a militia group come here either.
Well, I'm just going to say if it happens, that's why it has to be public.
Yeah, if you want to make it public, that's
Well, and it has to be.
okay. Did you hear that, Chet? Holy
Yes,
fuck.
I did. I was just
Yeah.
I was saying Daddykins because what is he, Batman? Oh, I have to do this. I have to detain them. Like this is why vigilante. This is why being vigilante is whatever. But whatever, you get the point. It's because
I
of
can't
idiots and insane people like this.
I can't believe that the officer had to tell him, no, you can't have a militia group come here.
No, we're full up on militia. Yes, we're
fuck
full up.
me. Yeah, he's pretty cool. I don't know. I haven't listened much further than this. I think I threw up a hairball when I heard this, but we could go on. But let's see what else he's got to
Make
say.
it public. That's
Well, and it has to be.
That's perfectly
This is
fine.
worse
That's
than
your freedom
9/11.
of speech.
Right.
That is perfectly fine.
Right.
But you
They're
cannot-
spraying indoors.
You
Yeah.
cannot take somebody else's. You can't take them into custody at all. A citizen cannot do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm
that's.
trying
I
to
understand you're
advise
saying.
and protect you.
Okay.
I get it.
That's kidnapping.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
It doesn't bode well for any of this.
Sure, I know, and I'm not doing that just yet. I'm just saying that that's what it might lead to eventually.
And-
It
and
could.
that's not something you want to pursue.
I
That's not
understand.
something you
I
wanna do.
understand.
If
Yes.
you want this to go,
He's obviously a Karen. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know if he's got a website, and I think it's called the XO of the RO or whatever. If
So he's
anybody,
kind of like a cross between the First Amendment auditors and
Yep.
those guys that stand on street corners with signs talking about the end is near.
Yeah.
Kind of flipped out. I just wonder if all those papers in his hand he's been handing out to people.
Yeah, and what he got fired over, I think, is apparently he says that they sprayed this PT 565 insecticide in places where basically you use it for like nursing homes and motels and things like that, but you're not supposed to spray it with people in the room. And I don't know what the backstory is, but I mean that is bigger than 9/11, right? That he got fired from this place in his own words. So he is a
Wow.
piece of work. What a dude, man! I'm just 792 months old. Wow.
You want to know? You want to know something crazy? This guy is obviously insane. Yet he's allowed to roam free.
Yeah.
Free. Well, there's no system really for the public dealing with mental illness. So
yeah. Okay, so I'm going to play the part about chastiseth. Chastiseth.
Yeah, I want to figure out who is saying that Jesus is chastising me.
Chastiseth. Anyway, maybe one of you religious people could explain this doctrine to me. But
okay.
Do you dismiss the evidence against evolution?
Wait a minute.
What evidence is against evolution? All I hear is stupid misrepresentations of scientific papers.
Wait a minute. Okay, I got the wrong chastiseth.
What?
Here we
I
go.
see Denny.
And you're making
Evidence are you speaking of?
Why is somebody speaking?
Little. Oh, I thought it was me.
Oh, are you speaking?
Well, that was me. Yeah, I was just trying to.
Hi, Scott. I'm gonna try to play a little bit of a video here. If you could maybe.
If I could shut the fuck up, sure.
Well, no, I didn't want to say that.
Just say it.
Okay, I think this is it.
Of whether or not you're saved is, are you being chastised when you live in sin? When you're carnal, are you being chastised? Because I know when I'm walking according to the flesh, I'm being chastised. And my family members who have experienced chastisement after they've been saved because of a season of carnality, they will tell you God spanked them, right? For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth.
Oh, chasteneth. Okay, chasteneth, not chastiseth. I'm sorry, I got it wrong.
So now it
I have
sounds
plenty
more
of
biblical to you.
Chasteneth. Yeah, I thought it was chastiseth. I don't know. Okay, so
Please explain this. Please explain this. I'm lost. Yep.
Me too. They experienced some of his relatives experienced a year of carnality. What the fuck is that?
Did you say a year or a season? I don't know.
Oh, a season of carnality.
Well, it would make it would be better use of the language to say a season of carnality. If he says a year of carnality, that's fine too. It's
like
just
season
that,
of the witch.
Yeah, think about it in terms of the fact that isn't SFT the once saved always saved?
Yeah. So
so he is saying that there's a time period in your life where more or less you're sinning and living opposite the way that his view of God wants you to. So at the end of that, you're gonna something bad's gonna happen in your life, and rather than that being just bad luck and trouble and all that, it's God chastening you so that you get your stuff together, you go down the aisle, you confess your sin and blah blah blah, and that's just another chance to have somebody walk down the aisle on a Sunday. You're not getting saved again. You're just becoming the disciple that you need to be.
Okay, so
Because on the other end, for people who are Arminian, who don't believe in once saved, always saved, you're going to hell because you're sinning and you haven't repented. That's easy on that side, but on the once saved, always saved, there's the problem of what about Christians who refuse to walk walk
okay,
the walk.
I have a question after you, Speed. Go ahead.
Okay, so let me get this right now. So if you've been saved, then you go out and you have a season of the flesh, then you get chastened or chastened.
Chastened. Just say chastened.
Chastened. Okay. Yeah, you get chastened. Okay, so number one, okay, I have some questions about how you have a proper season of the flesh, but I really want to know
it's not meant to be something that necessarily happens.
How do you get chastened though? Okay, what?
You just interpret circumstances the way you need to.
Okay, no, didn't he say spank? Do you literally get spanked?
No. There's no literal trip to the. I haven't heard any testimonies of anybody being beat in the butt by Jesus with a pine stick or whatever.
Doesn't he interpret the Bible literally? And if it says spanked, then I'm pretty sure that you literally get spanked.
Well, you get chastened, but you don't necessarily get spanked.
Chastened, but not spanked. Okay.
So, Scott,
wrestling bags.
My question, and probably is Jefferson. Is that Jefferson I see at the bottom there?
Hi, Jefferson.
It can probably answer this because he's very qualified in this area. But when they say walking in the flesh, I mean that's basically it can refer to a lot of different things, right? That can refer to just behaving badly, right?
Going to the bar and hitting and having one night stands. Apparently, that's where I'm pretty sure that's what they're thinking, right?
Yeah, there's a common turn of phrase that if a Christian bursts out in anger and goes on, say, like a rant that involves death threats, praise. He was in the flesh.
Right.
Yep.
They refer that to a lot of different things, right? But anyway, my question now, like when they say they work, or if they possibly are walking in the flesh, do they actually believe that they're being influenced with the devil at that time? Is that what a lot of
many do? Yeah,
that's what I thought.
Or just sin nature in general.
Yeah. Okay.
It just kind of curdles my blood when I hear SFT preach. He really does want to be a pastor, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have to go to school for that, or can you just do it?
It's not required. It just depends on the denomination and the culture you grew up in. Like, even though like I was a Southern Baptist and I went to seminary and everything, there are places where they just didn't want a seminary trained pastor. They wanted a good old boy who can tell jokes and go hunting with all the boys and everything. I'm not saying people who go to seminary can't do all that stuff. I'm just saying that it's that anti-elitism, I think, that is has stricken our society. There's a lot of areas that are just suspicious of educated people.
Yep.
So you just get your training from other pastors or what have you.
Oh my, these guys.
So the whole thing with me, I know I brought this up the other day because there was a lot of talk of, ever since Rebecca mentioned that Pine Creek was working for the devil and all that. Of course, there was a little bit of devil talk on Rebecca's channel, right? So, I mean, these guys in their train of thought when it comes to that, to me, I mean, what do you guys think? It's very scary to me. Like, when you think, of course, they all think that we're possessed or being influenced or possessed by the devil. That can really lead into, right, dehumanizing somebody and really, right? So
we're not chasing it.
Scary as shit.
Chasing it or whatever.
Yeah.
So if you haven't been saved, okay. So if you're saved, every time you go to a bar, you're going to get spanked. But if you can avoid being saved, then you won't get spanked, right? That's what
There
I
you
got.
go.
Well,
You're
no,
right.
and remember, we're talking about two different groups. Those that believe in once saved, always saved. That's what it means for that group. For the other group, you're just in sin and you're going to hell. You're condemned.
Yeah, but do you get spanked? Either okay for the other group.
Oh,
do you
I
get
think there's
spanked
some
either
good
way?
spanking going on on both sides.
Okay.
You guys, I think you guys.
Yeah,
just
both
like-
sides are pro spank.
I know I see him hung up on
You,
the
yeah,
spanking.
I think you just want to join. You want to join that one of those sides. Whoever gets the most spankings, right?
Yeah, just
Well,
come right up.
Jesus.
How does a guy get spanked around here?
You're-
What do I
you're
got?
Yeah,
in the-
what's a
you're in
guy
the
got to do?
flesh. I know. What do I got to do to get spanked?
I know I want Jesus to come down and spank me, and it sounds fucking like a hoot, man. That would be a good time.
Paddle me, heavenly daddy. Paddle me good. I've been sinning.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess I'll let that go. Anyway, let's see. So, what else? So the only other remarkable thing on that stream, other than Danny getting into it with the EXO guy, and Danny saying sorry, was this Andy guy. Okay, Andy X was, he watched a debate, right? And Kent Hovind is saying you're related to a banana plant, right? And Andy was trying to he was so they beat Andy up because Andy was saying no, you're not related to a banana plant, and SFT was saying, well, you believe there was a common ancestor, right, and all that stuff. But what Andy was really trying to get at, and they were like really harsh with the guy, and they were kind of cruel.
And that's that same EXO guy.
Yeah, what he was trying to get at is, okay, when you say you're related to someone, you actually fucking have an image in your mind of what being related to someone is, right? And the way the creationists use it, they use it just to make it ridiculous. And he was trying to point that out. But then he was getting a little bit lost because he didn't have the education, to talk about monophyly and all of that stuff. So, and so they were just jackasses with him, and that was right in the beginning of the show, I think it was. And I thought it was kind of cruel, because the thing about common ancestors is it gets a little bit fucking murky when you go back to where eukaryotes are, as to whether or not there was one common eukaryotic cell that created all cells. I don't think there were. There was a population of basically simpler cells, and from that population, animals developed, basically. But as far as saying that it all goes back to like one granddaddy cell, when you think about what was going on back then, that doesn't make as much sense as you think it would. So there were more populations, and there was a possibility of multiple eukaryotic uprisings, or like plants may have gone one way and animals another way. And so saying you're related, I mean, it's not like a little tree where you can trace the branch back to an exact one point. And that's what they keep wanting you to think, is that it was like one organism, one little cell, and everything divided from that, right? Well, that's not necessarily the case. Not when you get back into that first 400 million years. So one should abandon that kind of thinking or talk until we know a little bit more and we have better models about how these things happened. So anyway,
I think it's
so
kind of dishonest, isn't it? Though, because I mean, these guys believe in like Adam and Eve, so they know even from their quote unquote
Right.
worldview, following that, you can just say everybody is related to everybody, right?
Yep.
That's no different than doing what. But for some reason, it's insane to think that all life comes from a common ancestor. Well, everybody came from Adam and Eve, right?
Yeah.
You don't think that's insane?
Yep. Well, that's that thing with cytochrome C in the mitochondria. Okay, they trace it back to one individual, Adam and Eve. Okay, and I think Eve was 80,000 years, and Adam was like 170,000.
Yeah.
And the thing is that if you took another protein and you traced it back, you would also find an Adam and an Eve. Or basically, well, you'd find Adam and Eve. You'd find common parents, right? for some other protein, but it would be at a totally different time. It could be 30,000 years. It could be, well, more likely over 100,000. And for every protein, you're going to end up with a different ancestor. And that's just the way genetics works. And you have to actually draw out the trees. Like if you go back, okay, you have 2 parents, and you have 4 grandparents, and you have 8 great-grandparents. When you go back, the tree gets bigger and bigger, but the population gets smaller and smaller. How the fuck does that work? So that's where you start coming up with models that are not as intuitive as you might suspect. It's kind of unintuitive what happens. So these guys rely on a cross between intuition, or you're related to a banana plant, and then a few science facts sprinkled in. So they go back and forth. And what is that called? Obfuscation? Dishonesty?
Obfuscation?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, anyway, it kind of drives me nuts. But so that was about it. And then there was, let's see, the Epic After Show on David Neff's channel, I think.
Well, there's some familiar faces.
Yeah. Yeah, the good guys went over here. So anyway. And then Rebecca came on, and Top Dog brought this to us. Should I play it?
You're talking about the talking points about, yeah, go ahead and play it.
Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully people will join.
I think it's here.
So I guess I want to ask you a question, Rebecca. Is there any line of evidence that would convince you of evolution? Like what would we have to show? Like if we wanted to make a goalpost, what would we have to show in order for you to accept evolution?
Well, I would have to see the opposite of what it seems that our scientific observations show. I would have to see that these processes are capable. And
okay, what we figured out that she is talking about is her belief in genetic entropy, and this creationist talking point that the only thing that we see, the only thing that we observe in genetics is some loss of function, loss of information, or deterioration.
Yeah, so it's loss of an undefined function because they don't define function. A loss
so
of,
yeah.
So what?
She wants to see the opposite of that.
The opposite, of, which I still don't understand.
No.
Besides, it's been demonstrated that there is no genetic entropy because of Dr. Dan's, experiments with error catastrophe.
Yep.
So I don't know why she hasn't watched his videos on that and made comments about the content, about the points he makes. Because all I'm hearing is talking points on her part, whereas at least we're able, some more competently than others, we're able to give points and evidences and papers that have concluded this, and we don't get any of that. And she's not getting any of that from her collaborators like Sal or LPP or whomever else.
She makes a comment about Dr. Dan here, I think, in a little while, and basically what she's saying is like the kind of famous story of the guy who they take to the Yale campus, right? And he's walking around the campus, and they're showing him this building and that building, and he keeps saying, "Yeah, but show me Yale. You're not showing me Yale. You're just showing me the buildings.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to show me Yale."
Yeah,
that is very stupid.
That's a classic category error explanation.
Classic.
Yeah. Anyway,
are capable, and not just capable, but that it's actually happening. That we can build, new organs through mutation. Because it seems to me that
okay. So for that to actually happen, I think what she's saying is that we would have to have like some little slithery fish in the ocean that did not have a liver. And then we brought it into the laboratory and we observed it forming a liver. So yeah, that's the same. That's what she's asking for. Okay. And that would be the same as asking for, show me Yale, so it's the same kind of category error sort of thing.
it seems to me that, look, I hear what you guys are saying with things like viruses, and I think Dr. Dan brought those up when he was on my channel about, changes that we see within viruses and things like that. But I think the reason that, evolution seems so incomprehensible to me and people like Kent Hovind is that it requires not just many mutations, it requires coordinated mutations that have to build incredibly complex systems. And it just seems...
Okay, now let's go ahead.
I was just going to say, how is she reaching that conclusion?
That's what they would have to show us?
Yeah, just that, it has to be a coordinated effort.
Oh, yeah. She's looking at an extant system, that has a lot of moving parts, works together. And she's saying that they would have to show us that all of these things develop at the same time together. Because she believes in irreducible complexity. Well, going back to that example I told you about, if you took different genes, you'd end up with a different, it'd be like 150,000 years ago or 20,000 years ago for another gene right next to it. They'd all have different numbers, right? And they all coalesce or come together in the present, and they all work together, right? What she's asking for is to see all of that stuff coming together at once and working together. And this is the same reason they keep saying, oh, man has never created one of these eyeballs or whatever. They imagine an engineering project where you design the whole thing and you do it all at once and you put all the pieces together, right? But that is not evolution. And that's why they do not understand evolution. Evolution, all of these pieces they appear at different times. And a whole bunch of them will appear to do nothing at all for a very long time until the thing finally comes together and works together. And that's just the way networks work, and that's the way complexity works. And what they don't, so they have no understanding of evolution.
Yeah, and you're also talking to young Earth creationists, so they'll always say, well, deep time is your answer, right? You guys always go to the deep time because we have to have that. So that's another talking.
Yeah, but then for deep time, they still imagine it coming together as if we are creationists. So they're trying to put their paradigm onto us.
Yeah.
That it was all engineered, it was thought out in advance, and it was all created at once. And that is that's the whole gap between us evolutionists and these creationists. They just don't get it.
Did you hear Mad Dex say that multiple times in that?
Yeah,
in that stream.
Evolutionists?
Evos. He kept saying Evos and evolution.
Evolutionists.
He said that about 100 times, I think.
Anyway, that was about it, right, Top Dog? Was there any more, or should we?
I can't remember.
Well, let's give it another minute and see where she goes.
It just seems, it seems like the opposite of what we actually see through scientific observation. We see, degradation. We see accumulation of mutations that have a net harmful effect on an organism.
No, we don't.
And so that's generally what we see. So, why should I believe in a magical process from the past that worked in the opposite?
You literally believe in that.
Why should she believe in what unpeer-reviewed papers that have been published on creationist sites? She believes that whole hog. Okay, but she doesn't believe.
Blind and sinker. Yep. Anything Sal
It shouldn't be about believing. It should be about understanding.
So who is Lou Lawson and who blocked him?
It's just a bot.
Oh, okay. Good. Okay. Anyway, I think that's all I had. Shit show from here on out.
I mean, Sweet, it's always a shit show. So what are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, I think we covered a few points, and if you really went back and listened to what I'm saying, I think I did a pretty good job of explaining what the difference is between evolutionist and creationist. I don't know. That's just me, though. But you got to go re-listen to it because you know me.
Could you show my screen for a second for everybody to see?
Oh, the Horn of Plenty. You got the Horn of Plenty, right?
Common ancestry diagram.
Yeah, that's a little more realistic. Except every one of those little lines is a population. It's not one organism. That's where people get a little confused. So
hard to show that.
So the lines represent everything, not the no dots or anything. I'm not seeing any dots, but that my glasses being the way they are, they might be right there.
they're not. It's not a single lineage. Easily traceable lineage. It's quite mixed, and then when you go back to that first 400 million years, there still is a whole lot of horizontal transfer, and there's just a lot of other things going on. For one thing, we have a bunch of viruses living inside of us, inside of our genome, that are actively working for their own good, basically jumping around doing things.
Interesting.
Speak for yourself, Speed. I got no viruses in me.
You got viruses in you, dude. I'm sorry. You do. I think that's one of the means by which they do paternity tests, is they look for those repeat viruses and repeated tandem repeats. They look at how many you have, and between us, it would be very different enough to tell whose kid it is, that sort of thing.
May I raise a related but slightly off-topic question?
No.
Well,
Go ahead.
Anyway,
go ahead, Scott.
Just kind of getting the opinion of everybody here. Is there any value, in getting one of those like 23andMe or Ancestry.com genetics tests?
I had one I took one a while ago because it was like several years ago, and it was through Ancestry. I think I got it as a gift. I picked up one because I had heard from relatives. I've got some relatives that are really into genealogy, and they've been tracking it down. So they're like, yeah, they're on sale. They're super cheap. Grab one, and it's got the traits one with it. Now Ancestry's gotten into that too. And I'm like, all right, maybe it'll be worth the frustration of spitting into a little tube. So I did it. I got the results back about a month ago, and same company, it's Ancestry.com, but now they've got traits kind of like 23andMe got famous for.
Mm-hmm.
The breakdown was very different. Well, a little different than what it was before. And then I read I started reading a couple articles about why it doesn't mean what you think in terms of like where your genes claim you're from. Like that's basically horseshit. A lot of people will say like, oh, well, it's identifying me as 38% Scottish, or for example. And it's like, no, that's not what that means. It just 38% of your genes are shared by, a huge percentage of people in Scotland now, I think is how they do that. But then the traits ones, it's just things like the really obvious ones like, oh, we identified the gene for attached earlobes. If you already know you have attached earlobes, odds are you've got the gene. Stuff like that. So now, if you're really into like exercise and physical fitness, one of the things they do look for are those genes that they've identified with like the super endurance athletes, like the Dean Karnassus types. People that
or something?
There's an enzyme that I think helps the heart recover while it's exercising, and then there's another one that I think does something with like regular muscle tissue. But they're basically like super endurance genes. They look for those. So that's it's cute, but I don't know how informative it is.
Hey Jay, Jeff, how much did you pay for this?
I think I paid like $29. I think the second time, the first time I did it, I think it was a gift. I don't know what they paid for it, but it was
$29.
I think it was either 25 or 29. I think because I think the original package for the Ancestry and the traits is normally like, I think they charge like 80 or 100. So I picked it up, but yeah, I mean it's kind of fun, especially with they'll tell you things like, do you tend to have issues with low nutrient levels, things like do you tend towards somebody who's deficient in vitamin B12, vitamin D, vitamin E, things like that. So and they can. Yeah, they also kind of point out whether or not you're like a super taster or an enhanced taster. Turns out I am. That was kind of cool. Like I have heightened sensitivity to sweets, bitterness, not to protein though. They test all
Hey,
three.
Jefferson, do you want to give me a birthday gift?
So
No.
some of them tell you they give you a list of people that you're possibly related to, like
Yeah, well, they'll tell you like cousins up to like four times removed or however that works. Yeah, it's kind of creepy. And then when I did it, it was sort of like for the novelty, but it was also so my relatives that do the genealogy thing can plug me into their family tree and get that stuff synced up. But I'm pretty sure that's all run by like a star chamber that's a bunch of Mormons that are just actively baptizing us, again, secretly, so that which is fine. Like if they're right, then I'm going to COBOL after I die. But
so apparently you can get a whole genome sequencing for about $1,000, something like that.
Yeah, really? That's what I want.
Yeah.
Now that would be cool.
Yeah. So I've got a little tiny tumor, and when I get it cut out, I'm going to try to talk them into sending it in. But I guess it costs like $5,000 to sequence the tumor to find out where, what exactly went wrong, that sort of thing. And apparently, sometimes if the doctor words it right, your insurance company will cover that. So I'm kind of hoping that I can talk them into doing that, because it would be cool to see exactly what went wrong. Why it ended up with cells multiplying out of control, right? Which would be
the way you say it about your doctor, if he says it just right, it almost sounds like a trip to what's that school that Harry Potter went to?
Exactly.
It's like he has to be the right kind of wizard.
Didn't you know that is what our entire healthcare system is based on, is the wizardry of doctors wording things right for the insurance company. Otherwise, they'll let you die. So if you can get a doctor that's really good at wording things right, you'll get the healthcare you need. If he's crap or he doesn't like you for some reason, like if you're old and he thinks you should die anyway, then you're fucked. And that's what healthcare is running this country. If you don't advocate for yourself, they'll let you die. They'll just let you die. They don't give a shit. Unless you got a really good doctor that actually gives a shit about you as a human being, right? I've had a mix. Recently, I've had experiences with doctors that I think were trying to kill me.
I know that my doctor is kind of jaded with the profession.
Yeah.
Hey, Speed, everybody's trying to kill you. Remember that.
Yeah. The doctor that was really good, and he managed to basically do tons of stuff for me in the way of diagnostics, retired because he couldn't stand the game anymore. He said he was going to work another 10, 20 years, but he said, fuck it, I'm out of here. I can't take it anymore. I can't stand the bureaucracy of the insurance companies. They just drove him out. He was a good doctor. So now I'm searching for a new one.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Yeah. You got, if you're older, you got to get an older doctor, that's already thinking about mortality. You want these young doctors, they don't give a shit. They're like, oh, well, you got a little tumor. You're going to die anyway. I don't think it'll grow that fast. Next patient.
Yeah, that's everybody won't grow that fast.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
It's like, wait a minute, and I had to put my foot down with him and say, wait a minute, give me the logic behind just letting this fucking thing keep growing, right? And
well, my logic is I want to see what happens next. I want to see what it turns into. But I mean, if you insist on getting rid of it, I guess we can.
Yeah. If it was in his kidney, he'd be going, "Get it out of me now! Get it out!"
Exactly right. Yeah.
Like he'd probably have a buddy of his do it for free.
Yeah. Oh well.
That's when you catch a jet to catch a plane to Thailand and roll the dice with their privatized tourism, medical tourism.
Well, I want to sell the kidney. I mean, aren't there people that you can just, take it. You could have it.
That might not be Thailand. You might have to skip over to Vietnam for that, but I'm pretty sure you could find it pretty easily.
Yeah.
It's some of these factory reject kidneys.
Yeah.
Slightly damaged.
Yeah.
Well worn.
Well, you just take a cheese grater and take the part that doesn't look right, cut it out, and sell the fucker. It's like.
What do they say at that like their advertisements for consignment stores? They don't call them used clothing or previously owned. They say gently worn.
Yeah, gently worn.
Yeah.
That's how you can advertise your organs.
Right. I bet my kidney smells like cigarettes. Yeah.
You just tell them like these organs have holes in them. Yeah, like jeans. They're very stylish now. Just go ahead. Come on, that's very trendy.
They're distressed.
Yes,
that's the big hit. Distressed.
That's a tastefully distressed liver. I'll have you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same logic, but the tumor on a kidney could grow a lot faster than prostate cancer.
I gotta get going, guys. I got a repair guy here, so I will see you later.
All right, man.
Say hi to him.
Thanks for stopping by.
And tell him Jefferson. Tell him to subscribe to my channel.
Will do.
Okay, thanks. We do what we can.
Start talking like that Ox guy, or not Ox, XO guy that just start talking about the conspiracy for bug spray or whatever.
Yeah, I should. I got another video by him. Driving around. He does a lot of driving around in cars videos. So let's see.
I'm glad I never had that urge
to videotape yourself. Yeah.
And I honestly only believe God is true and every man is a liar. And there are very few people out there like Bible literalists and her friends, for the most part, as far as the internet's concerned, that I've ever been able to get along with as it is. But I'm not here because of fame and fortune at all. I don't want to be here. I have to tell the truth because God has shown it to me, and I'm going to give you evidence, and it's not going to be enough. So I'm telling you that I'm going to give you more evidence, and I am claiming that you still won't believe. But it turns out 1 million people are in danger, and if I didn't, I wish I didn't know that because I wouldn't have to say anything. But God is too good to me.
God is too good to him.
He gave me the truth, and I asked for the truth. So it turns out things are much worse in this world. April 4th, 2021.
Dannikins.
And I don't even know how to explain.
Yeah. Or maybe he just wants a sense of meaning and specialness, uniqueness in his life, that he just interprets everything as God telling him something that he must do.
I think he's still talking about the insecticide. Yeah. And so apparently this is probably right around the time when he got canned, for not shutting up. So I looked up another creationist that got fired. They mentioned him on Cell's channel, and I will have to dig around to really get the whole story. But it was the same kind of thing. He was was he at NASA? He was somewhere, but he wouldn't shut his mouth. He kept bugging people about his ideas and about religion and all that crap. And there was that. And then I think he was a contractor. They lost funding or something, and they decided to let him go. But the creationist story is that he was fired for being a creationist. Well, in a way, that's a little bit true if you won't shut your fucking mouth about your religion at work.
Yeah.
You're not going to keep that job.
If you're overstepping boundaries and using up resource time about things that you don't need to be talking about at work. So I know RJ obviously knows a whole lot going back about all these people. Isn't there somebody else who specializes in those kinds of things, claims of being fired, but then finding out the real reason they were let go? I could have swore I saw a video.
If we find a channel, that would be a good resource, because I've been thinking about like putting together some kind of a chart of because I'm starting to lose names. There's so many of them.
Yeah,
you got the top level, PhDs, and then you've got the bachelor's degree people that all work for ICR and whatever, and then below that you've got the trashier kind like Ken Ham and stuff like that, and they don't have any real credentials at all. And then below that, you got SFT and LilPP and all those idiots. So, I mean, there's like a big nest of them, and there's a hierarchy. It'd be nice to have a chart and look at all their backstories and stuff.
Maybe show the relationship with Yarn.
Yeah. That would be good. So what does this guy get into? Oh, there's a transcript. Oh, there's a transcript. But it turns out thousands of people are being poisoned. The report was filed with the police, had been contacted. The Department of Agriculture. Okay, so he's really upset about this insecticide. God is good. I don't know. Should we listen to a little bit? We got nothing else to do. I'm both shooting ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Play it. I'll try not to interrupt.
I don't even know how to explain it because it's such a mind-numbing level of comprehension. It's hard for me to do. And I don't expect many people to do anything about it. But it turns out thousands of people are being poisoned illegally. And some people know about it, and the ones that found out about it, they decided to cover it up.
They're all dead.
The report was filed. The police have been contacted. The Department of Agriculture has been contacted. Adult Protective Services have been contacted already. And the Attorney General has been contacted as well. And even one representative of Arizona named Jennifer Longden, who's also been contacted, who confirms that incident reports will have been covered up. She admits that incident reports have been covered up. That's why she was contacted regarding this case, because this new case that has arisen has to do with hiding incident reports that were filed under law. So we have several laws being broken here. We have families being lied to, and we don't have enough time to go into all the information. In danger, and disabled people are in danger, or defenseless people that don't have a say are in danger. You're obligated to do something, and that's what we've been obligated to do something. And friends and family have asked me to be this God is quick and powerful, sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing
Nannikins.
soul and spirit.
Yeah.
Now you're not running it sped up, are you?
I am 125.
Okay. Otherwise, I was going to say maybe in these next discussions that he has on YouTube channel, somebody should ask him, "Are you still taking your lithium?" But
yeah, he is.
Come on, let's fish out what's really going on.
He's a little sped out here.
Piercing even to dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart.
What the fuck?
Dear beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are true. For many false prophets have gone out into the world. I'm not even sure how to tell you this, but I will give you some of my identification as a mandated reporter of the state of Arizona. I have some bad news for many residents of North America, and I hold this Bible right here in my hand to testify literally under oath almost because of the severity of the matter that I've encountered, and it hurts me. It turns out you're being poisoned. Thousands of people. This is one incident where a company's doing it to 1,000. There's 1,000 employees and disabled adults and children that are under the care. Ever since restrictions happened, people had to stay in their houses more. Well, the children actually left the homes and went back to their parents' houses for the majority of these incidences, and only the people that were disabled adults, for the most part, stayed in their homes. The problem is they didn't just illegally spray disabled adult homes. They've been spraying countless other homes, and this is just in Arizona, and I'm sure a trend is occurring. So far, that means that at least 1,000 people that I can account for one company have been sprayed with these illegal pesticides. I was one of them. That's the point. So that's why I filed a mandated report incident.
So that explains what's wrong with him. So he was sprayed by insecticide, and that's why he's like he is. Well, okay, I'm sorry. I guess we're picking on somebody who has pesticide poisoning of the brain. That sort of thing. I don't know what he's.
What the hell are y'all? What are y'all watching?
Oh, okay. So you were on LPP's channel, right?
A little bit as I was falling asleep. I didn't.
Okay.
I was only in the side chat.
Okay, this is XO of the RO.
Oh, okay. I heard a little bit of what he was saying, but
yeah. So this is the guy. Pesticide companies are killing millions.
Conspiracy theorists.
Did he name the pesticide?
Yeah, it's the fuck is it called? Hang on a second here. PT 565 plus XLO contact insecticide. It's used. You can buy it on Amazon for $4.95. No.
I take a bath into that every day, and I feel just fine.
I do. It kills grain moths, ants, bed bugs, book lice. They spray motels with it. They spray nursing homes
Hey,
and a whole
you
bunch of
know,
other
you know what
places.
I'm wondering is, like he said you said he mentioned that he got fired and whatnot. Now I'm wondering if he got fired before and then he did this as kind of a disgruntled employee type thing after the fact.
He probably got fired because he wouldn't shut the fuck up about it because he turned it into some biblical thing, right?
Yeah, that could be, but I'm wondering if it was the other way around, and he's not saying that, you know, that he decided to do this after the fact. You know, he acted like an idiot doing something else that he's not going to say, you know, why he got fired, or you know what I mean. That's almost what I was thinking, but I don't know. Who knows?
You heard the earlier one I played by him, didn't you, Gur?
No.
Okay. The one where he's talking to the police officer and he's saying, well, you know, if the militia comes in and the police officer says, no, sir, you don't want to bring the militia in.
Hey, Speed, don't forget to cue that music we have been talking about.
Oh, yeah. I'll leave and I'll come right back.
No, you don't have to leave.
Hello, everybody. I'm nodding my head, bobbing.
And fade out.
Okay, that's our Gurmania theme song.
Yeah, I heard that. I think Top Dog he played it for us, and I thought this has to be Gromania's or theme song.
I thought
I like it.
I edited it where it had John out of it.
Well, good.
That didn't sound like the one I gave him.
No, that's so I'm not sure exactly where you did your cut, but I suppose I could try to pop that up, but it's going to come up in iTunes, and I'm not sure if that's going to translate audio-wise to what's happening there.
Hey, can I just?
I use VLC.
Can I just give a fair warning to everyone listening?
Yeah.
I'm having a stream tonight, so stay far, far away from the internet, especially YouTube.
Ooh, you are having a stream tonight. You haven't done that for a month.
Yep, over a month and maybe 2 weeks or something crazy.
Oh, girl, you gotta invite this guy here. You want to get a shit show?
You want to get EXO in, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to get him in there.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I will.
More fun than a barrel of monkeys.
Back to the video. He may be talking about like the neurotoxin that's in the pesticide could get into us if we're exposed to it.
Well,
it could be, but need to basically Google it maybe and see what it's on about. Is there a greater movement against this pesticide, or
let me see
we've been probably using it for since we invented the pesticides and stuff.
Yeah,
it's the stuff that kills the bugs. So
hey,
just as long as we're not too close to or having it fumes and stuff into where breathing people are, or especially animals.
Yeah, when I bathe in it, I only swallow a little bit. So
that's smart. That's smart. Only swallow a little bit of it. Not a lot.
one of the brand names that has it in it is called Stop Bugging Me.
We're gonna send that to Brain Bug.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it's got pyrothins, pepperonyl butoxide.
I love pepperoni.
Nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, all insecticides that you spray, and everybody sprays insecticides, right? I hope.
You just don't want the fumes. It settles after a while, of course, and it will only contact through touch, probably. And then if you like put your fingers in your mouth after touching it, that's the only way you're gonna get it after it settles.
Here we go. Safety data sheet.
Hey, when I came in here, y'all don't hear background noise, do y'all? I'm on a different computer, but it's kind of noisy. Okay, good.
Oh, you're pretty cool.
I'm making sure my gain is turned really low.
Of course, my standards are really fucking low, so
that's why I'm here.
Okay,
I don't know if it might be a very faint fan sound, but it's not there. It's not noticeable too much.
Okay, cool.
Can I get a quick
amen? Quick amen.
No. A quick definition of what gain is in sound and all that.
Oh yeah, like
digital amplification.
well, like on the mic, depending on what mic you have, you can turn up the amount of noise it picks up, like your voice. And if it's turned up too loud, you'll sound really loud and also pick up background noise that you probably
Gotcha.
wouldn't hear if you had the gain turned down.
All right,
It's like
well,
the
thank you.
volume going into input as opposed that translates the output to everyone else.
I use a voice changing thing that has like noise cancellation, but I don't put it on. I just moved my computer to another room. You have to use it through the wall.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm usually on my laptop, but it's been acting kind of goofy, and so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try my girlfriend's computer because it's all fancy. And the only bad thing is, even though StreamYard is so much easier and quicker to use on her computer versus my little laptop, it is a little noisy. So I have it semi-covered up and pushed as far back to the wall as I can. But yeah, it's still a little noisy.
Okay, so apparently if you inhale this stuff directly or eat it or drink it, it's toxic. As you know, like gasoline is toxic if you inhale it or drink it.
Well, I was gonna say anything can be toxic. It's just the amount that you ingest.
Right.
It's a ratio thing.
Okay, it is not classified as a carcinogen. It may cause eye irritation if you stick it in your eyeballs. It says you don't need any safety equipment to spray it. You don't need a mask. And so it sounds, I mean, it's pyrothins. It's not, it's most insecticides have this shit in them, right? So, I mean,
Yeah, and also you got to remember how many bed bugs are you okay with living with?
And also, let's just say he's correct. It's terrible for you. It's harmful. Okay, yep. At what amount? At what percentage is it harmful? Right. Is it less than cancer? What's in there? Right. Like if it causes cancer, if it's harmful, does it exceed that amount in what it recommends?
Right. On the Amazon thing that I read, or the place where you can buy it, it said to take the old people out of the room before you spray. So it did say that.
So you could definitely stay in the room.
Like hard to breathe. Yeah.
I could stay in the room.
Because you're a youngin'.
I'm like a cockroach.
You're a young buck.
I'm like a cockroach. Anyway.
Minus the roach. You're a cockroach minus the roach. Tough crowd. Oh, David's here. David, you son of a bitch.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah, y'all have that, that thing going on.
David's
but he said
get it.
He claims this is bigger than 9/11. You know, so
bigger.
It's the whole world getting sprayed.
And he was talking about detaining people with the police officer, and the police officer was saying, "No, that's called kidnapping." He had a really nice police
the people
officer.
Are spraying.
That was, he was talking about detaining the people that were spraying.
Oh my god! So full-on conspiracy theorist.
CRISPR makes a really good point here. If it's a carcinogen, the young people should be fucking afraid, not the old people.
Oh, okay, because it has time to develop in young people.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
Good catch, CRISPR.
Good catch.
Well,
Krispy Kreme.
It's at the moment where it's in the air, so you don't want people breathing in. So
yeah,
the diet then instead of later.
True.
What else does the EXO have on his channel?
Yeah, let's see what else he's got.
Oh, he's got this one.
Hey, now that I can share my screen, maybe I'll go to his channel and review some videos.
The bee is very easy to approach. It's much more difficult to approach God.
Okay. Womp, womp, womp.
That's the whole video.
I was just about to unmute and go, womp, womp.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah. Then he's upset about some boxing match where the guy had his knuckles showing. So that's Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury or some fucking thing. You saw another sign in the heaven. I played that, and it didn't make any sense at all. The EXO with Justin Bernard. The name of God, the Jesus, Isaiah, and Revelation.
The name of God.
I don't know about that one. My mistake. Welcome to the great.
I'm with Benghazi. I wanted him to get stung as well. Last comment.
Yeah, that would have been good.
How many subscribers does he have?
I think it was like 500.
590 more than I got.
Wow.
Almost
Oh,
600.
boy.
Yeah.
He's big. The atheist
Not
conspiracy.
like a normal bee either. I
Oh,
mean,
here's
as
a-
in a honeybee.
Here's a
It's like
2-hour one.
Like Asian one.
Okay, he's got one called The Atheist Conspiracy.
Ooh, this should be fun.
I'm sorry, that was my evil
You
conspiracy.
think that's the sun? That's not the sun. That's what the communist liberals want you to think.
Yeah. It's just a hole in a piece of cardboard with a flashlight behind it.
And it does go around us.
But we go around it. I mean, we don't go around it. It goes around us.
Ooh,
oh my lord, that's
Which is what I
scary
just
sight.
said.
Shut up. I'm an echo. I'm an echo.
Okay, who's this guy? This guy. We've seen him around on
Oh
Praises.
yeah, I've exchanged very, very little dialogue with him, but yeah.
Yeah. And then let's see.
For think of it that way, but I do see these sections of apologetics, and there's science, obviously, and it's just common sense. I mean, I know a lot of atheists have this philosophy thing, and just ask them what the word philosophy means, they don't even know.
Danny Skins.
This is what he was talking about last night with Danny.
I just want to say Maynard Saves is not in the side chat. So if Maynard Saves is here, tell him I said hug a cactus.
I was like, what?
Hug a cactus. Yeah.
What? Okay. What is the backstory on that joke?
Oh, just in be a little biatch. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
He's all right.
Yeah.
He's a little shit talker, though.
What are we conspiring to do? Anyway. Oh, Mr. J's here.
Mr. J.
Time
I
to
think
shoot
you
him
missed,
dead.
you missed a lot of comments that I was making over on when you were on, I think on Rebecca's, when you were on live with her. I think your internet was.
Oh yeah, mine. Yeah, my
was
internet
not,
connection.
or you were on your phone
sucked.
or something. Yeah, that day.
Hey, now we have 2 homeschoolers here, so the stream's about to go to shit.
Former. Yep.
Yeah, former. Yeah. See, I proved my point. I'm homeschooled. You are? Well, I mean, I was.
Well, I'm still technically homeschooled. I get homeschooled every day when I talk to you idiots.
True. Hard to argue.
This must be an old video. That's Google Hangouts.
I thought the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah, this one is
nobody
from
uses that.
2014, so he's been around for a while. So
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
conspiracies since 2014. Did you catch the early part where I was playing him with the police officer? This guy.
No, I didn't catch that part.
Oh, okay. Should I play it again?
Yeah, I missed it too.
Funny?
Yeah, play it.
Or is it
Yeah,
cringe?
yeah, you might as well go ahead.
Is this gonna be something that makes me want to fucking punch a dog?
Oh yeah, this is
pretty much. Yeah.
This is fun.
To
Maybe
justify their
the baby.
lifestyle. This is the Great Deception. This was part 1. We will see part 2 soon. Thanks.
Mr. Massa,
Yeah.
get that. So let me read and understand what's going on, and then I'll make a couple phone calls, and then
Yeah, this is just the beginning. Yeah, this is just the beginning. I need to speak to a detective. And eventually, but if I see these people out in public, I have to detain them, and I have to call the police. I have to. But I have to. I will. I know. I'm willing for that to happen because it's okay. Yes, because then the government's going to appoint me a lawyer. It'll blow up this case. It's going to show everybody that they're murdering people. It's worth it, sir. It's okay. It's okay. I'm going to do it. We have to. We're being killed. I know, but we have to. Okay, well, that's here. So that's going to happen eventually.
But let me tell you, that is not something you need to do.
Okay, when an officer has his hand up and says, "No, sir, that's not something you need to do."
I'm just glad it's not the one. It's not the hand that he shoots with, because that's why he's holding it up. See, I'm not going for my gun. See, I'm not going for my gun.
Yeah.
What is this guy? What is his? So there seems to be some context missing here. Who is killing who?
Okay, he worked for some sort of some organization called Ares in Arizona that took care of vulnerable adults and children. And apparently they sprayed insecticide and he got fired because he was having a problem with it. So I think he claimed they sprayed it while they were in the room or something. I don't know.
Stupid.
But I mean, if that were the case, my son would have, fucking turned me in a long time ago because I used to bug bomb the fucking house while we were home. But anyway, that's just me. Okay, listen to this, Jay, because it gets a little bit better when he goes on.
That is not something you need to do.
Well, if this case continues to get covered up, we have no choice.
Look, I'm not saying that
Adult
it needs
Protective
covered up by
Services.
us.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying APS did
cannot
already.
do a citizen's arrest.
I know, but APS already has covered it up and it actually
If there's
wrote
information
about
that
it.
APS has, then
Yes,
there's ways of gathering
they
that
covered it up.
information.
They covered it
There's
up.
ways of gathering all of
I
this
know. That's what I'm
information.
saying.
He said
Right.
this is just the beginning.
Right. And again, the name is Linda Gilly and Kelly Janey are the two people promoting
I
this
read
this
the
mass
information.
murder. Yeah.
We have information
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah. So these people have to be stopped. And again, if there's a revolt, like if there's like a militia group out there that has to come here and do something about it, that might be the only solution.
No, you cannot have a militia group out there either.
Oh, I'm just going to say if it happens. That's why it has to be public.
Yeah. If you want to make it public, that's
Well, and it has to be.
That's
This is
fine.
worse
That's
than
your freedom
9/11.
of speech.
Right.
That is perfectly
Worse than 9/11.
Okay, so the cop is telling him, no, you can't have a militia group. This is fucking hilarious. I don't know where they even
I
hiding.
have to
this
commend the officer.
I
He's
know.
keeping his calm.
Yeah,
That
I would have been
pissed
ready
me
to
off.
put cuffs on him right there
No.
if I was that cop.
I'd have
No,
whipped out
sir.
my ass.
Shit.
You can't call the militia.
Get the taser out and tase the shit out of him or
So what
something.
is? So he wants people arrested for spraying pesticide.
He wants to detain them
Yeah,
himself.
detain them and
and have the militia
and then
group come in
militia
and
go
and
after him. Yeah,
kill them.
yeah.
Because this is bigger than 9/11. I mean, this is big, obviously. That's why we've never heard about it until just today.
Yeah, this isn't a very fascinating video because I got distracted by the spider killing a very large wasp. So anyway.
Oh, cool. I had recorded it.
But you heard the militia part, right?
I heard it. He sounds like a male Karen.
Yeah, exactly. This is a Karen video combined with a Bible thumper. So
Yeah, if it was a Karen on the street corner with a sign saying the world is ending.
Yep.
Anyway,
what's this guy's name?
XO something or another.
XO of the RO is what he calls himself. I don't know why.
XO of the
It was
RO.
around when I first came on the scene. Anyway, doesn't matter.
XO of the RO. XO of the RO. Facts. Keep speaking that real shit, homie. Oh wow. Okay, I'm a subscriber now, XO. I'm praying God keeps you safe. You are like Johnny Appleseed. I'm ready to learn so I can share the truth. Oh my goodness. You are unbanned. Come back to 24/7. You are an important part of the server. Miss you 24/7. And that's it.
Isn't it weird? Well, I guess it's not weird. I guess it makes sense. But conspiracy theorists just attract other conspiracy theorists, and they just keep growing as a group.
Yep.
So you guys will be happy to know the spider won.
Oh, really?
And she's half the size of this freaking wasp.
Oh wow!
What the fuck? Where do you? Oh, you're like in a warm place. Like our spiders are.
I'm in California, dude. And
Get out of there! God, have you heard it's on fire?
It's 73 right now.
It's always on fire. They gotta stop listening to my mixtape over there.
It's Southern California. It's got the brush. They got the big brush fire. That's
Okay.
not where I'm at. No, I give it another 2 weeks before we don't get any rain. We're gonna start. It's gonna be a bad. Because pretty much, if we don't get rain by May, it ain't happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
And we'll be so dry, this place will go up like crazy. And if we have another lightning storm in the summertime, we're gonna have another complex fire. It's not gonna be enough.
That's scary. That sucks.
Bad. Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, I just bought a new bed. God damn it. I can't move that shit.
Everyone's going to be like, save the children. You're going to be like, fuck the children. Save my bed, bitch.
But here's the thing. There's a reason why I like working a security job where the place that I check is literally sitting on the water. The only access to the place that I check is a cement pier over a body of water. So if shit hits the fan, I told my wife, I was like, if shit hits the fan, grab the dog, grab whatever shit you want, throw it in the car, and come right out here. Drive your car right up to the edge of the pier. I'll meet you on the APL. We're sitting right on the water. Can't get burned.
And bring the bed.
I'll tell you, there was a fire in Minnesota where a lot of people roasted to death inside of cattle tanks and ponds.
Oh my God.
They boiled. Yep.
I think that's got to be.
That's weird. Yeah.
The worst way to go.
They would have to be. So first of all, in order for the fire to come out here, it would have to actually be in the marsh before it could even come close to the shoreline. And the boat is about 200 yards off the shoreline.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Great Hinckley fire in Minnesota. I think it was really horrifying.
Was it worse than 9/11?
Yes.
It was worse than 9/11, yeah.
Building
How many people
billions of dollars of damage.
killed hundreds of people? It just fucking tore through this whole area in the middle of Minnesota. Conflagration in the pine forests of the state of Minnesota in 1894, which burned an area at least 200,000 acres. 418 people died. Anyway, but some people like crawled into cattle tanks and they found them boiled to death.
That's awful.
Yeah, that's dumb. Yeah, don't get into metal containers, folks. If there's
No.
Yeah. You just basically put yourself in your own cooking pot.
Ooh, there's a wiki entry on it. And they have a fire museum up in Hinckley. If you ever get up near Hinckley
Hinckley
in Minnesota,
the Hinckley.
Go to there's a casino there. Don't go there. Go to the fire museum.
And then go to the casino.
Yeah, and there's a really fucking cool restaurant. All I know is it has a big fireplace. I can't remember the name of it, but go there.
I'm pretty sure I need to remove this spider when she gets done eating because I'm thinking it's a she. Because something that I wouldn't fuck with. She got nailed twice by it, lived, and is now finishing mummifying it. I saw her get hit twice by that stinger. Got glanced twice.
Oh my God, Top Dog, that video sends a chill down my spine.
Ooh,
That's
do it again. Do it. Oh, that's a big spider.
Fuck that shit. God damn. No.
Oh shit! It jumped.
If that were me and that spider landed on me, you would hear the Roadrunner. Beep beep.
Beep beep.
There'd be a trail of fire behind me.
Oh shit! It would stop my heart.
Well, it's like I couldn't figure out where the ants were coming in the house and found out it was from my wife bringing in the freaking plants to keep them because we were getting some cold nights. So it wasn't going to be good for her succulents.
So we get these wolf spiders, and those fuckers can jump about 3 feet. They just leap, and they're huge. They're huge, and they're just scariest looking fucking things. I had one on my blanket when I came back. I had a contract in North Carolina, and I came back for a weekend. And we lived by the river valley, right? And at that time, I did not spray insecticide in my house. I learned a harsh lesson. And so I lay on the couch and I pull up a blanket and turn the TV on. It's about 2:00 in the morning. And I'm trying to like decompress from the flight. And this fucking spider crawls up on the blanket and looks at me. And then I jumped and he jumped like 3 fucking feet. And so I got up and I put all of my bedding in the washer and dryer and I washed
That's a rabid wolf spider with her brood.
Oh, is that one?
God.
That spider right there is all over North Carolina. It's out here too in California. It's a rabid. That's a rabid wolf spider.
Oh, those suck. They'll suck a lot. Anyway, they really give you the creeps. So then I went to Home Depot and I bought like $500 worth of fucking insecticide. And
did you say $500
I started up on the roof. I got the ladder, started on the roof, and just started, just fucking
overdoing things.
my house.
Yeah, the problem with certain insecticides is that with spiders, since spiders don't clean themselves, and depending on the insecticide that you use, especially if it's a contact, like a time release one,
Yeah.
spiders don't really, all you're doing is you're killing everything else off so that they don't have prey, and then they leave. Yeah, that's a proper jumping spider right there.
I until this year, I did not yard guard this year. I had not seen a bug in my house, not one fucking bug for like 15 years. So whatever I did it right.
Yeah.
Well, I went to.
I used to kill off everything about once a month in North Carolina in the summertime.
Yeah. So there's something called Yard Guard you can buy at Home Depot for $20 a gallon, and that's bullshit. So I went and I read the label, and I went to Amazon and I bought all of the 100%, insecticides, and so I mixed my own, and I figured it out. I got a calculator out and figured out how much you put in a gallon of water to end up with Yard Guard, and one of the ingredients, it was 1/8 of a teaspoon that you put in a fucking gallon of water. So,
well, I used to. Yeah, what I would do is I would just buy I'd buy bifenthrin. There was a couple websites, and actually we had a store that was not too far from us when we lived in North Carolina. They sold it in a 1-gallon jug, and it was kind of like milky white. Looks like almost like poured sap.
Yes,
and it's like
it looks like milk.
Yeah, it's like $20, and I used it's a Gildan sprayer, and you just have a dial on it, and you set it for the ratio that you need, and I just hook it up to a hose, and that's what I would use to spray my entire property. And I of course wear a mask and gloves and goggles and take a shower afterward, but I would spray my yards and spray the sides of my house and all that shit. I had to do that once a month just to keep the ticks and spiders down.
Yeah. Well, I do it once. If I do it twice a year, I won't see a bug anywhere. Not even in my backyard. They'll fly in, but that's about it.
The fun thing is when you use something like cyfalthrin, and if it's encapsulated cyfalthrin, like there's one that you can buy called Psychic. You can still buy it. It's like $46 for a 16-ounce bottle.
Mexican spider.
And what you do is you mix it, and then I sprayed it on the front of my house. And the reason I sprayed it on the front of my house was because I turned on the porch light, so all the bugs get attracted to the front of the house.
Right.
So the following morning, it was like that scene in Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom where he's walking all the crunchy bugs off the My whole front porch was littered with insect cadavers because they were landing there in the front of the house because they were attracted to the light, cleaning themselves and then dying. It was basically a chemical bug zapper. I turned the whole front of my house into a chemical bug zapper.
Well, the reason, okay, I did that calculation and I found out that 1/8 teaspoon you were supposed to use. So I would usually use like 1/8 of a cup instead.
Jesus Christ. Why don't you just salt the earth and get it over?
because those fucking recommended levels, those recommended doses, those are bullshit. Okay, that's part of the conspiracy.
Well, you have to also look, because sometimes the doses change based on mosquitoes versus ticks and versus other, like certain other insects, depending on how the formulation is. Like for bifenthrin, you have to use a very small amount of bifenthrin. Well, you used to be able to use a smaller amount of bifenthrin before, but now mosquitoes have actually become, I think, a little bit more resistant to bifenthrin as well as DEET. So you have to kind of increase the concentration there. But still, the concentrations of bifenthrin are not nearly as high for mosquitoes as they are for like certain flies.
Yeah.
So it just depends on what you're treating too.
I use like 4 or 5 ingredients, and I don't really follow the recommended doses so much. So,
but remember, just if you live next to the other problem is especially when you live next to, if you're in a watershed, shit's going into the river.
Oh,
and it affects fish.
Oh yeah, but the Minnesota River, that can't be a big deal, right?
Well, you have to live with it. I mean, how much drinking water do people get from the Minnesota River?
I wouldn't drink that shit. Not after the amount of insecticide I've sprayed out there.
Exactly.
I buy bottled water, man.
I used so much insecticide. Like my neighbor was amazed because he resodded his yard. He goes, "I finally got my yard to stick. I have no grubs. Are you doing something different up there?" And as he's asking me this, I look like I'm a nuclear like a nuclear technician, and I'm just spraying my house down with this shit. He goes, "Are you using something different?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, a lot different." He never had a grub in his yard again. He spent a shitload of money, and he's a landscaper by trade anyway, so he probably got a lot of stuff at cost. But anyway, he spent a shitload of time, resodded his whole backyard, and his backyard was basically on the very bottom. The property that I lived on was kind of on a decline, so the house sat there, and the ground went, sloped back, and it went back towards his property. So any rain and everything that we got went right to his backyard. Like if there was any flooding, his backyard would flood because all the water coming off the streets coming right in front of my yard, going right to his. Well, because of the pesticide I was using and any kind of rain that we got later, it would wash the pesticide into his yard, kill all the grubs.
Yeah.
Because the pesticide I was using can be used for killing grubs.
Hey, I hate to do this, but I do have to go. But
Hey, do you know what, Gur? Do you know what's really great? We're going to shoot her in the head right now.
oh, okay, I'll stick around for a minute.
Okay.
I'm showing you the Minnesota River. I think is the picture here.
Oh yeah, that's my
nice.
house is close to that. Yeah.
It's a big ass river.
That's not a big deal. It flows right into the Mississippi, I think.
Yeah.
So,
polluting that means absolutely nothing to the ecosystem at large.
No. I mean, well, look how big it is, right? I couldn't possibly have an effect. I mean, so that's the part out by St. Is that closer to St. Paul? Yeah, that must be just down the street from me. That's about a mile away.
Just don't eat any fish out of that, guys. Now that based on what Speed has told us, don't fish out of that.
Yeah.
No, and I'd stay away from the Mississippi, dude, just to be safe.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Okay, guys, and the Gulf. Don't fish in the Gulf because that's where the Mississippi goes. So.
Hey, Speed, what are you having for dinner?
Fuck you, girl. Fuck you, girl.
It was Benghazi. Benghazi was
My
asking.
cruel world.
Take care.
Whoa, I didn't do the
Still live.
extended one.
You're still live.
I know. I didn't do the extended one. I fucked up. Oh,
I was about